Oh no.
Hi,
I've
everybody.
been here long. That's Jess.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Susie Rance, a writer for Ride of the Valkyries, which is there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, obviously, but what do you think fans might notice right away that may be a little bit different?
Good question. Well, there could be a name change and branding change in the offing, so that would be one thing that would be pretty obvious for folks out there, which hopefully we'll have out here in the next couple of weeks. I think a lot of the work has been more behind the scenes than stuff that's going to be in front of the camera. The integration of what we're doing with what OL is doing is a complicated process. But has been going well. I think it will manifest itself probably for these guys from a training perspective. I think the facilities we're going to be able to put together are better than what we've had in the past. So I think that's good news, and that's a real commitment from OL to step up and do that. So it's fantastic.
For the players, Bethany and Jess, what does it mean for you to have the financial support of a group like OL Group, knowing what you've done for not only the men's team in France, but also the women's team, who pretty much have run roughshod through the French competition, but also the women's Champions League competitions?
I think it's really exciting. I think that's exactly what this league needs. It's just more investment into the women's game, and so we're just excited to see how that's going to play out in all facets in our game and the treatment we're getting. So it's exciting. I think it's what we need.
Yeah, look, I've been lucky enough to work with both sides of it. Obviously, going on loan with OL last year and being a part of the row now for going into the 8th season. So I kind of know both sides of the group individually. So I know exactly what's going to happen, or I have this vision in my head of what's going to happen when they come together and make it, because one of the things that is very similar with them both is that they want to be the best and they want to strive to be the best, and in order to do that they know what they have to do to make that. So whether it be investment in the facilities or things for the team, the girls, the things in the back room, etc. Bill and Lorraine have been doing that up until this point, and OL are probably the biggest women's team in the world and have been for a very long time. So they're just going to bring that experience of how they got there into what we already have. And I think there's going to be changes that you'll see right away. It is going to be a process, and we're going to have to trust that process and have a little bit of patience as well. But I believe it's going to be probably one of the best things to happen, not only for our organisation, but for football here in Washington and for the NWSL as a whole.
We'll keep it on you for a second, Jess. For folks who maybe aren't as active on social media, you tore your ACL in July, but have been doing some training and doing some running. Just how is your recovery going overall?
My recovery actually is going perfectly as I'd hoped it'd be, perfectly to plan, as they say. I'm in a great space right now. If anything, we're just trusting the process and respecting the injury and just using the timeline that we have. And it's, I saw my surgeon, I'll just tell you all the truth, I saw my surgeon yesterday. He is very happy, and what I feel like I'm ready to do, he believes I'm ready to do as well, but he's like, look, he still has ACL injury, so we need to respect the timeline a little bit. You got a while till the season starts, so just make sure you're just very, very good. So if everything goes the last 6 weeks as well as the last 7 months, then this season's going to be good.
Another quick follow-up on that. You sort of joked, but maybe there was a little truth in it. You fractured your leg a few years ago, and you were playing 4 weeks later. Mm-hmm. That bourbon and the beach was the recovery method.
now I had a couple more years, I was turned to gin. Apparently that's, just as good. So, and I was in Australia, so there was a lot of training, a lot of gin, and a lot of beach.
Bethany, you said the word investment earlier when you were talking about what it means for Hale to buy into the ring. And it just reminded us to say about how the club is investing in you. Oh, crazy feedback. For those that did not catch the news today, the club announced that Bethany has just signed a new contract extension for 3 years with the option for a 4th year. So congratulations. What are you doing to get that sort of commitment from the club?
Yeah, it's incredible, and just a dream come true, honestly, to have an owner like Bill and OL and just an organization want me for that long or even be interested is incredible, and I just absolutely love what we're doing here and what we're building, and I'm so excited to be a part of it for the next 4 years. And I grew a ton in my first year here, and I don't expect anything less in the coming years, and so I can't think of a better place to develop my game as I still have a long way to go.
So obviously, your next objective is to win the USL Championship, but for you on a personal branding front, what about getting a Crocs collaboration going?
I'm trying hard. I'm reaching out. Hopefully within the next year we'll get something rolling here.
Is there something that the fans can do? Like maybe we should create a hashtag to get
Maybe. That's what I need. I don't know any other player who wants Crocs to sponsor them except me, so...
There's a reason.
So for everyone here in attendance and also those watching online, you have a mission. Get Crocs people to just pay attention and get something going on with Bethany Balcer here.
They're a reliable shoe, okay?
Speaking of sponsors, though, Budweiser invested at a really enormous level after the World Cup this last year. We've seen it play out in a couple of different ways, advertising, money behind the league, but I'm curious from the player's perspective, if you've noticed, like, if Budweiser is making an impact on you, and Bill, what you're seeing at the club level from their investment.
Firstly, I just think it's just really good for us that we have such a big brand that has decided to invest in the women's sport and women's football. Sorry, I can't say soccer, football. I think it's kind of a message too with some of the campaigns that they've done that they're just kind of like, where's everybody else? Like, come on, like, sort your shit out. But I also think that they are doing stuff behind the scenes with the girls as well. Like they did an internship, right? So they asked people if they want to do an internship so they can learn other skills, and they did that in the off season. So I think that is also huge. So that they are really helping from a kind of advertising, marketing, like visibility perspective. But they're also doing really good things behind the scenes for us to try and get into other aspects of life, really, which I think is a really good thing for them to do, and I have a lot of respect for it.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I think the way they stepped up was, it was really unique in the history of the league. We never had a sponsor that not just put up money, but I think they put some thought into what they wanted to do with us. And I think Jess brought up a good point with the internship program. So they had, I think, 6 players went back to New York. It was this program in conjunction, I think, with Columbia University. So it was an actual meaningful educational experience, where they're collaborating with, I think, marketing department, marketing folks inside of Budweiser. That I just don't think you've seen a brand step up that way in the past, where it was.
Yeah, I had a question. Is that on or not?
Apparently not. We can hear you.
You can use this one if you'd
You
like.
can repeat. There we go.
Come on.
Good job.
Actually, I had a question for you.
Okay.
What was, and you retired from the national squad playing for Wales. I was just wondering, what
But where did you hear that from? That's interesting. Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah.
So what changes have you seen over the years playing in Wales with the women's game in Europe and just the international game for teams other than the U.S.? And the other thing is, was wearing a flannel always a fashion choice before you moved to the Northwest?
Okay, for the second one, yeah, because gays also wear a lot of flannel, and I've been gay my whole life. You don't get to take the flannel, okay? I've been wearing it since I was like 12. For your first question, look, I think football back home in Europe right now is just so far ahead of what it was when I was growing up, which is great. You know, it really is. They've probably actually had leagues going a lot longer than the NWSL. I know the English WSL has been going for longer. The French league has been there for a while. The Spanish league is fairly new. The German league has been there for a very long time. So from that perspective, they actually probably have more experience of leagues, but they've never been at like the proest level. Like I think most of the French league is probably still semi-pro. Spain have only just gone and did a CBA to only now have like minimum wages and a fully kind of professional setup, and that was a couple of weeks ago. So although they've been there, they've kind of been at a relatively low investment level. But I think what we're seeing now is the teams realize that if their national team is going to be successful, they have to have successful leagues. You have to have them. That's just the way that it is. You can't expect to have a truly ongoing successful national team without a league, and not a professional league. So now a lot of the teams back home are really investing in their leagues. You see the English are investing, the Spanish are investing, the Germans are still investing, and ultimately I think that's what's going to happen. That those three leagues are probably going to be the big leagues in Europe in the next 3 to 5 years, which will mean the national teams will just get better and better and better, and that's what we saw in the World Cup. Obviously we saw USA just go, okay, great, whatever. Like, you can keep doing all this great stuff, but we're still going to beat you. But it is just really good to see now that everybody wants to beat America, and so they now know that if that's going to happen from a national team perspective, they'll have to invest at league level, and that's what's happening. And it's great because it's just going to make this league keep getting better, because this league's going to have to get better to stay ahead of the Europeans. So it's a knock-on effect, you know, and I'm excited for it all because the Europeans get better, this place has to get better, Canada has to get better, Australia has to get better, Japan has to get better, which means the whole women's football in general gets better, which means companies will give us money, blah, 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 blah,
and then we will be close to say goodbye.
Yeah, I've got last question.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got a room full of amazing Seattle soccer fans. What is the best way that we can support Rain FC going forward?
Great question.
All right, fine.
Please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I would say that there's probably a majority of you who have supported us along the way, so if that's the case, then I just want to say personally thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and we really appreciate that. To kind of obviously newbies and those who have supported us, I would say although we're not here, like we're down the road, it's okay. It's not going to hurt you, it'll be fine. Just come down, watch a game, watch 2 games, 5 games, 10 games, and buy some season tickets now. I just think still support us. I know we're not here, I know we're not in your backyard, and I understand that. But we're still going to need your support. We are really the pro women's team of Washington, and what we want to do is grow that. We don't just want to be a team from Tacoma. We obviously are from Tacoma, but we represent more than that, and each of our individuals represents so much more than just football. And so, the Sounders have been amazing, and hopefully they win again, and it's just a dream. But there's a lot of support there, and I think that we still need to see that support for the women, because the way I see it is, you're football fans, right? And you're really good football fans. I've been to Century Link and I love it. I love watching the Sounders. I love the support. So I don't get why it's not completely with the women. Because we're still football. It's still football. We're still pretty good at it as well, just to let you know. We are. And ideally what we want is, the Sounders to win and the Reign to win, and it to just be football in Washington is like the hub, is the place to be. But we're going to need support for that, we're going to need bums on seats and fans and tweets and social, and we're just going to want everybody in Washington to know that this is the women's side, this is the men's side. We love them. End of. We love them. So don't know us.
Mic drop. Thank you, Bill, Jess, and Bethany. Thank you, everyone, for participating and being a part, and hopefully we'll see you at Cheney Stadium.